On this day, exactly 41 years ago, Bill Gates held an event to unveil his new operating system that had a graphical user interface. He said it would be called Windows. Nerds everywhere rejoice and likely ruin their shorts in joy. Today we see a window of opportunity to try 3 snacks and rate them, and we won't let it pass us by. You try, Dad. You try, Dad. I'm Nick Norris with pals Chad Hancock.
Howdy.
Nick Geiger.
Nerds came in their pants? Was that the implication? About Windows?
I don't know
Windows
many nerds
1.0.
that actually like Windows, if I'm being honest.
Well, at the
Either
time,
actual Windows or the Windows operating system. Most of them try to stay
okay,
in
so
a
at the
dark basement.
time before Windows came out, it was just like, were all the screens just DOS?
It was because I remember actually when we got Windows anyways. But yeah, it was basically like looking at the Matrix screens, more or less. Mm-hmm. Just text.
Mm-hmm. So it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. Bill Gates, cool dude. You know.
Mm-hmm. It was mentioned when I looked up November 10th what happened on this day. So
I remember the coolest thing, the one thing that blew my mind is somebody had a screensaver. I think it was a Jurassic Park themed screensaver, and it was like a velociraptor would jump at the screen and tear its claws down. It would just tear like a line in whatever screen was on. I'm like, that's mind blowing. Mm-hmm. But we've gone a lot farther since then.
Mm-hmm.
Some pretty good screensavers in the old Windows days, like 3D Maze or whatever, and yeah, the Windows logo bouncing around the corners.
Velociraptor is the first thing Bill Gates actually put into Windows.
Yeah, he worked on the Velociraptor first. And then his GUI made all the nerds' pants gooey.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to make nerds come in their underwear, I need raptors. That's what he said at the strategy.
They're like,
meeting.
Bill, we should have like pictures of like a folder that people could copy. Yeah. But what about the Velociraptor?
I don't know exactly how we're going to sell this to the masses. I put a Velociraptor in it. And he just turned around and said, clever girl. Because it was a woman who suggested it.
Yeah, that was the original clever girl. Yeah.
That's why they put that in the movie. He helped write the script.
Yeah.
That's why the computer coder was the bad guy. He fucking hated all the people who worked for him.
Okay, so we've heard a lot of stories about Geiger's old crazy Saukville crew.
Yeah.
But there was an old music teacher that seems like he could have belonged in Saukville that I had. When I went back to Crystal Lake South Elementary School.
So this guy was weird, and I get blamed for it somehow? This is your problem.
I didn't even know Saukville.
You are weird, and you belong in Saukville with all the other weirdos.
This fucking freak should have been teaching in Saukville.
You are the Birdo of music teachers. Get behind a Starbucks.
Okay, so for
Concerto.
What do you think of when you think of elementary school music teacher? Do you remember yours, or what comes in your head when you think of
like very happy, like, hey, like clapping and like overly cheerful people is what we had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think ours was a woman, and yeah, I remember her just like relegating me to the back, like to the trombone in the very back. So that nobody could hear me
trombone in elementary school?
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Damn.
It was elementary. Maybe it was like middle. Maybe it was like 5th grade, I think, I was playing trombone, 4th or 5th grade. That's elementary school still.
Juilliard Elementary.
Some kid could barely hold his arm out to pick it up.
I just picked it because I liked how it went. Like I wanted to be able to do that. Little did I know that like brass instruments suck.
You could have just done it with a slide whistle and saved yourself a lot of time.
My brother David played the tuba, which is even funnier. I think that thing's huge.
That thing's like a burden to carry. Yeah.
So our parents must have been pissed because we picked like the biggest, heaviest, most expensive instruments, basically.
So the music teacher's name, he was a legend. He had been there forever. He was probably like in his 40s, close to 50s. His name was Mr. King. And he looked like a slightly skinnier Hulk Hogan.
Nice.
Like, this is a start for an elementary school, but he had like the yellow hair that just went around the back,
Yeah.
right, and like was bald on top. Otherwise,
You gotta clean your spit trap, brother. If you know what I mean.
I can only get hard when I hear our trombone being played by a 4-year-old.
Brother. Sound my penis makes.
He's saying brother.
So picture Hulk Hogan, except he's wearing like a pastel striped shirt, button up every day.
Was he muscular?
Slacks.
Like in shape?
He was like barrel chested.
He was beefy.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he rip off the pastel shirt at the end of every class? Like,
I am a real Sockvillian. That's what it was saying.
So he had bouts of like very cheerful, then just angry as fuck, and he also had a huge mustache like Hogan.
So he was on drugs like Hogan.
Sounds like he's on steroids. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Might add a little roid rage here and there. I don't know.
Part to add to the legend is he had only 4 fingers on his hands.
What?
He had no thumbs.
Oh, wow.
He had no thumbs.
What is that? You're making this up or no?
I'm not making.
Oh, this is
It's
like
not a tough nail story.
Tough nails.
He had 4 fingers on both hands,
and his hands were webbed, and he had gills. I swear to God, guys.
And he played a good piano. Okay,
No, he
sure is much
with
tougher.
no thumbs.
Yes.
What do you use? His nipples? Like how? I don't know much about piano. I think thumbs are required.
He used the trombone. He just smashed the keys with the end of it. Yeah, which I think seemed impressive at the time, but also made it scary as fuck. Because like when you're in elementary school and someone's like missing an appendage, you like keep wanting to look at the hand, like where the thumb is missing.
Yeah.
You're like, show me that weird thumb. I think playing the piano would be the least of it. Like, he needs it to just like pick shit up,
grab
and,
stuff,
coffee.
mow his lawn,
hold baton for orchestra.
The couple things that we would do is they'd pass out instruments, not a fucking trombone, like a tambourine and shit, and like
recorder,
rhythm sticks they'd call them, which is just 2 wooden sticks that you'd like beat together. And then most of the time, like 4 out of the 5 days of the week that you had music, he would put on like records, or maybe it was cassettes at the time, and like dance around the room like a fucking loon, and like you'd have to follow him in like Zumba like fashion. And so he constantly
leading a conga line every day or something. What's going on here?
He constantly played that Carly Simon song that's "I feel the earth move under my feet," and he would be like doing like fast feet, and then the sky tumbling down. He'd like have his arms up, and he'd be flying around like sweating like crazy through his shirt. And we just like follow along with his movements the whole time. And I guess
you set up a limbo stick every day and like have you dance through the limbo stick.
And so there's this one incident where a kid was, and I remember this is him losing his absolute mind. A kid was like playing with his shoelace, and Mr. King's like, hey, Robert, stop playing with your shoelace. And Robert continued to play with the shoelace. And Mr. King asked him like twice more before walking to the kid, grabbing the shoe, ripping it off, and whipping it against the far wall.
Jesus. Okay.
Why does he care if the kid's futzing with his shoelace? Like, who gives a shit?
Was he jealous of the ability to tie his shoes?
Yes.
Mr. King's Velcro was wearing out that day.
His lack of
Stop showing off those opposables.
His lack of thumbs made him completely unhinged. And the big like thing that he spent all of second grade is we had something in the school called second grade circus, where they assigned a different circus job to everyone in second grade. and it was like a huge like play with songs and stuff in it. And he would just be like fucking loon about like forgetting your lines as a second grader. So in this particular circus, I was a monkey. Like me and 4 other kids were a monkey. And there was like a sideshow with like, I'm the tall man. It was like a kid standing on 2 coffee cans.
To what, like, for whose amusement? Like, you just walked around the school? Like, I don't know.
It was all in his basement.
Play this recorder, monkey.
It was all in his dungeon, he called it. I didn't understand why.
He was like, you're a monkey now. No, you cannot. Monkeys don't use their thumbs.
You must hold these rhythm sticks in your paws like a monkey.
You're all monkeys. I thought this was a circus. Yes. Everyone's a monkey.
Circus of monkeys. Now start making monkey noise. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah, and the like.
One ringmaster. Introduce the monkeys.
That'll be me.
You're all monkeys, brother. Now take off your shoes before I whip them across the wall.
There's a big play where he came out and introduced the monkeys. And 150 second graders just ran around the auditorium for 45 minutes.
That's what the principal's just looking back like, how much are we paying this guy? This is what he came up with for music class.
But looking back, like even right after I left, I'm like, he was fucking frightening. Hulk Hogan dancing around and yelling at kids.
I mean, you're definitely right. There's probably a bunch of eight-fingered weirdos in Saukville. I agree.
Wow. See, I mean,
wasn't there a factory dumping toxic waste into the river that you drank from?
Me? I've got 10 fingers, thank you. 17 toes, but 10 fingers.
None of your family does, though.
No. Yeah, they all have just stumps for hands. No, there was a guy in my class. He had like another toe, like another big toe growing underneath the skin of his existing big toe. So he showed it to me once. Like, so it, like if you saw like the bump of a toe, then you saw this other bump coming on the side. It was like a sixth toe growing, and it was like splitting the nail because it was stretching across. And have, like,
what? Like through the middle of the toe?
Yeah, it's like if you looked at, like, let's say my thumb's my toe, which it's not, obviously. Underneath the skin of the toe, like a sixth toe bone growth was like coming off the side underneath that same skin. And because there's only one nail, it was like being pulled apart because the skin was stretching too wide, so he had to get it removed.
Yep.
But he's the only guy from Saukville I know that had an extra toe. If that makes you feel better.
Yeah, I told us, we made a joke about it. You immediately brought to note him, man.
Oh, did I tell you about the literal monkey man that lived in Saukville? He was half ape.
There's another human rips through the middle of his skin and just like, Saukville.
Saukville Quado comes out. Just
this is true. I did read a story the other day of some like 85-year-old man that died, and then they were looking at his body, and they found out he had 3 penises. This is a true story. That
what?
I just read.
He had how many penises?
3, but 2 of them
all
were
on the
like
outside?
No, 2 of them were like small inside his ball sack.
Wait, what? Those are called testicles, I think.
I don't know. That's the news article I read. They had like a diagram of how it
2
works.
penises inside his scrotum?
Yeah.
Doing what?
Just hanging out, I guess.
Man.
Chilling.
What part of Saukville is he from?
He was the manager of the Arby's. Ernie Von Three Dicks.
Who do you know wants to get this dick out my scrotum? I'm desperate, please. Science is not advanced to the point that can help me.
Let's eat some snacks. Shout out
so
to
what-
Mr.
no.
King if he's still around.
Did you enjoy Mr. King as a teacher? Like, obviously he's weird, but was he a good teacher? You think? No. In
I
retrospect,
think it was kind of fun. Like, I thought
Mhm.
it was fun to, I guess, jump around the room.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Bang on the rhythm sticks, play the old trombone.
That sounded more sinister than Mr. King, though. You said it like that. You play the old trombone, if you know what I mean.
Got two
All right,
smaller
well,
trombones in my ball sack, if you know what I mean.
That's also a hell of a music budget you guys had when half the class is doing rhythm sticks. Just, I don't know, give them some chopsticks so they can bang them together. I don't give a shit.
I was like,
Make him a monkey and have him run around the gym for an hour.
like, Mr. King, you're missing 2 thumbs. No, I don't. They're growing out in my nuts. And I was like, oh, shit, okay.
Check out my ball thumbs.
Who's got no thumbs and 2 dicks? This guy.
Okay. 3 snacks, 5-point scale. Love that, like that, dislike that, and hate that. We've
So
got
wait, when the guy got hard, did he get hard inside his own sack too?
I don't know if they were functional in that way. I think they just some extra glands or something.
just a couple extra in case it.
I didn't do the
Back up the
dissection personally, so yeah.
Why does that even make the news?
That's pretty notable.
Why,
You know anyone
when
with 3
someone
dicks?
dies, are you looking inside his scrotum?
That
What is
was the
happening?
cause of death.
I'd see if they're like, oh, a guy died, and then the coroner found, like, they were dressing him up for the funeral and found he had 3 dicks you could see on the outside, but not like.
Yeah. All right.
How's the story that he had
Time
2
to
more
put on his
dicks
trousers. Oh shit! There's
inside-
3 dicks down here. Fucking
Yeah,
Davy
exactly.
Jones down here. Fucking.
That story makes sense. Not that they were inside his scrotum.
He had a heart attack, cut his balls open, and looked for extra cocks.
Everyone knows all autopsies involve cutting open your scrotum to see what's inside. This one had a keychain.
He lived a long, fulfilling life. Now let's see what's in them balls.
Hand me the scalpel. I'm gonna open up that scrot.
All right, the 365 Whole Foods Market brand organic vanilla animal cookies. So these are the Whole Foods animal cookies.
Could these
Yes.
be more of a boring cookie? Ooh, they're very vanilla-y.
Whole Foods does
Super crunchy.
seem to pride itself on being pretty uppity, so they might think their animal crackers are better than the standard animal cracker. When I was a kid, the animal cracker we always got was the one in the like little red box with the string on it.
The circus
Um,
car.
Yeah. That I think they've since changed.
Yeah, sure.
To like not show caged animals on it.
I think this one's a buffalo, but I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, I got buffalo. This guy?
Yep.
Oh no, Novak, you have the 3-dicked buffalo. It's a different one. You have different buffaloes.
I gotta break it open.
Yeah, you find out when you bite into it. That's when you
there
find
you
out how many dicks are in the buffalo. Take a bite of that scrote. That's what you got to do before you eat the cookie.
All right, Geiger. Tell us what you think of this animal cracker.
I mean, they're fine. It's an animal cracker. They're a little sweeter than I think a normal. Man, it's been a while since I've had a regular animal cracker. I feel like it's a little sweeter. Like you can taste the vanilla. It's not soup. Like my usual problem with these, they're like super dry shortbread. These aren't actually that dry. These aren't horrible, actually. I'm kind of surprised. They are a boring ass cookie, and I think animal crackers or cookies in general are kind of lame. and I do think Whole Foods is too snooty by half, but I will give this a mild like that. This is a fine enough cookie.
Chad?
I think they're pretty good, actually. I like an animal cracker. I think this is a good execution. I like the strong vanilla flavor. It's got a good crunch to it, good texture. I think these are pretty tasty. It's a solid like that for me.
Yeah, I just don't think they're that great. I do like some animal crackers. There's a couple that I like a lot. It's like a Stouffer's brand that I really like.
You have multiple takes on animal crackers?
That's right. Let me tell you. You said before the pod started that this seemed like something I'd like. So don't be surprised that I have a professional opinion on animal crackers. But I prefer ones that have like more of a graham crackery taste than this vanilla taste. It's just, I don't like the vanilla taste that much. But they're fine. They're very plain. I would eat them probably only if there was nothing else around. I'm going to give them an indifferent to that. 2 likes and an indifferent. Let's next go to the Monte Pollino vanilla wafers. Made in Italy.
Just breathe into the bag. Oof. It smells weird to me. Yeah, mine smell weird. I don't know.
So these are like kind of those wafer cookies you'll see in the store sometimes that can come in usually chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry. And it's a little thicker, and it's a square instead of a rectangle. Pretty creamy.
Pretty wafery.
Chad, once you get your fill, you're going to be rating first. What do you think of these?
They're pretty good. I don't know. They're not as they're a lot more subtle flavor than I think I thought they would be. Maybe it's just coming off the ultra vanilla of the animal crackers. I don't taste as much vanilla here. The wafer's fine. The consistency is fine. I wanted to love these. I don't. I just wanted them to be sort of like, I don't know, a little bit more than they are. But I like the size. It's an okay snack to pop in your mouth. I am going to give them a like that also.
I think these are significantly better than the others. I feel like the wafer and cream seems very high quality. I wish there was a little something stronger to the flavor. I think if you made like a bite size one of these, I hate to say it, but like with the chocolate wafer with some peanut butter in it, like this quality of ingredient with a different flavor could be perfect. And the bite sizeness is great. I'm going to give this a very solid to strong like that. I think it's a good snack. Okay.
I don't know. Something about it just not hitting me right, and I don't know what it is. I think the cream or the wafer, which I guess is the 2 components I could be judging, so it doesn't narrow it down. There's something in the aftertaste I'm not liking. I don't know what the taste. The during taste is fine. The before smell was a bit off-putting to me too. I don't know why. They're very sweet. They are well made. I don't think they're horrible or anything, but I just can't get with you guys, or at least with Novak. So I'm just going to go indifferent. I think they're okay. But there's something about the aftertaste that's bugging me, and I can't put my finger on it.
Okay, well, that puts us at a tie so far. And we've got a plant-based peanut butter chocolate chunk cookie coming up after the segment. Chad, segment time.
All right, new segment for you all this week. It's fall, and it's a tough job market out there. A lot of people looking for jobs, a lot of people losing their jobs. There's layoffs, all these other things, right? So, where's a place that you go, if you need to look for a job? You might go to LinkedIn. So I have scoured LinkedIn.
Oh, boy.
For some of the wildest posts that people have made on LinkedIn in a segment I'm calling Linked Insanity. So here's what you're going to do. I'm going to read these to you. You guys have to decide if this is, if you like this person, you can give them a connection or a rejection. Okay, so you want to connect this person or reject them. Those are your two choices. All right. Make sense? Everybody on board?
Yeah.
First up, Mr. King.
All right. So the first one, we'll start kind of basic here. This is from somebody who runs a company called RentZ.org. It says, when I started RentZ, I had only a dream of rent transparency and the hopes that renters would contribute their rent history to the site for each other to see. However, I've changed since then. After hiring 3 employees, I've found meaning in coaching them. All 3 are single mothers who work extremely hard. Despite the fact that they are paid minimum wage, they put in 200% effort every day. However, it wasn't always like that. They used to be lazy, but I coached them and they became superstars. To my fellow managers out there, all it takes is a bit of coaching. So, Geiger, we'll start with you. What do you think? Is this a connection or a rejection for you?
So I'm just going to come out and say up front
yes,
that I hate 97% of posts on LinkedIn.
That's a low number to hate. I think 100% is fair.
I used to have to use it a lot in a former job, and it has its uses for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some people that work there, but it's just such like flex my dick about how great I am in a work setting, and it's the dumbest bunch of wannabe TED Talk dickheads.
Well, you better buckle up for this segment then.
Yeah, I know. So bragging about lowballing single mothers and how lazy they were, because if there's one thing I know about a single mother is that she's lazy as shit.
Yeah,
she's just laying about with her sole custody of a living being, not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't been properly motivated yet.
Yeah, it wasn't until fucking Bobby Business came over here and whipped him into shape.
It's definitely not money that's going to motivate them. It's coaching.
Not money. It's growing the business of perhaps the worst and least intuitively named business I've ever heard. RentZ.org. Rolls out the fucking tongue. So I'm supposed to like this guy or not?
Connection or a rejection, yeah.
I give him 3 non-rejection connects. No, I will say rejection. I don't want anything to do with this guy.
Okay. Novak, you agree?
Yeah, I mean, he was able to motivate them from lazy to 200%. And all he had to do was dangle the threat of their children starving over their head. Right?
He motivated them to 200% and paid them 50%.
RentZ, and also moving RentZ from 1 employee to 4. Right?
Impressive, yeah.
Look out, Oracle. Here he comes.
Or starting a company under the guise of getting people's renting history. Like, what is the purpose of? He just wants people to post their rent history.
Yeah, I guess.
That's the company.
Okay. So you know that, so you know what other people have paid in the same building you live in or something.
Yeah. But this guy's an all-time piece of shit, so I'm going to give him a rejection.
It's funny because most companies only have 1 single mother in them, but this one, when you dissect the company, you see 3 single mothers. Okay, so moving on to the next one. This is from a guy named Rajarshi. His profile says, I speak the truth, you may get offended. Here's what he has to say.
Whoops.
Wonderful preface. Yeah.
Alcohol is poison. It feels more of a poison when you have some of it after a long time. I drank some single malt scotch with my buddies who came over for the festivals. It has been over a day and I still feel the effects. I drank after a long time, which allowed me to observe the negative changes in my mind and body. My energy levels are down, and I do not feel the spring in my steps. I feel lethargic. It is hard to focus on work when I feel a constant struggle with my mind. Alcohol is completely useless. Most people drink it to avoid and fall in the peer pressure trap. Avoid alcohol at all costs. Novak, how do you feel about
what's this have to do with LinkedIn? With the
Great
job?
Question. Do you want to connect with him?
LinkedIn is just self-help business Facebook. That's all. It has nothing to do with actual jobs.
I logged in once, like maybe I don't know, maybe like when I first started working, I made one, and I probably have a profile online somewhere.
I think your dad's on it. I think I'm
my
friends
dad.
with your
This
dad.
story's about my dad.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to preempt you. I'm sorry.
Set up. It's a perfect fucking setup.
Okay.
Because my dad does not work a job where he fucking needs LinkedIn.
No, he's
Right,
like the
at
least
all.
LinkedIn guy of all time.
He's just like a maintenance guy, right? Like so. All I remember is him putting up a post. It was usually him just like congratulating people. Then he put up a post that was a video of an elephant crossing a street, and like said that was titled "Elephant Waves Hello" as it passes, and it's people filming an elephant. The elephant stops in the middle of the road and like whips its trunk up in the air and then continues to go. And my dad's comment is, "Why can't most people be as nice as this?" Or something.
It's deep. It's deep. It's true.
That's true.
Right. Plus, my dad not nice. Right. So
Famously not nice to people he doesn't know.
So anyway, this guy. Wait, what the fuck was this guy?
Alcohol's bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
alcohol's bad. It was really super confusing.
It seems like you'd be a lot of fun at parties, huh? You want to connect with him?
A lot of fun at parties.
As he sits there while you slowly drink and ruminate, like you're slowly poisoning your body after every sip you take or whatever.
But I'm not a big drinker anyway, and my problem that I've caught in a few of these segments was I got very deep without realizing that the beginning was my only sliver of a chance to connect, right? And so I'm going to connect with this guy just to see what he says next.
Okay, Gagger. You drink a beer during every podcast, so how do you feel about this?
Okay, not true. Not drinking one now. I would say maybe a quarter of them, yes. Yeah, look, I'm not anti-drinking, of course. I do think Novak stole my move a little bit in that I can at least get behind sort of what he's saying. Like, yeah, drinking is bad.
It does make you feel like shit, but yeah, for sure.
It does make you, well, if you do too much of it, you feel bad, and it's probably not great for your body, and it's also not good to do if you have to work the next day.
This guy sounds like he might be an alcoholic who's trying to quit.
It definitely sounds like a little bit of self-flagellation going on here of like, oh, I would never do this again. I'm so much better than this. God damn it, Doug, get your shit together.
He relapsed after like 5 years sober or something like that.
Yeah. And I was questioning for a while if he was really feeling the effects still, because he was able to clearly ruminate on like what happened, but then like he fucked up so much of the grammar at the end. Maybe he was drunk. I was like,
I think he was still drunk when he typed it.
So look, he's probably one of those guys that, like you said, is a kind of a little bit of a buzzkill and wants to tell you why the vice you're enjoying is terrible for you. But I mean, as LinkedIn posts go, this is probably not the most harmful one. So I'll give him a connect. I'll try to reach out and see if he can teach me about the dangers of my lifestyle.
Okay, well, let's go from one vice to another. This is from a person named Nat, whose job is teaching investors how to grow digital real estate portfolios. He says,
oh my God, just that sentence alone, reject.
He says, I like to watch porn.
Whoa. Maybe I was a little hasty.
He grew his digital portfolio, all right.
He says,
lots of OnlyFans.
He says, yeah, I admit it. And I'm sure many of you out there have seen your fair share. But why am I bringing this up?
And now I need a new job. Like it a little too much.
But why am I bringing this up? For two reasons. One, because no topic is off limits. And two, because it's important to be aware of indulgences in your life. There are some things that need to be done in moderation. For some, including myself, porn is one of them. Be
I'll only jack off one of my dicks. I could jack all three.
Be very aware of the things that, if you do too much, cause more harm than good. And then he ends up by saying, carry on.
As you were, back to your jack wagons.
Gagger.
These guys are like, it's like with the next guy, I'll be like, hey, I'm gonna level with you, okay? Just because I can. Breathing is necessary. I'm just gonna put that out there. Like, no, fuck, porn is not great for you, you dumb fuck. Like, no one, like, with the way he's like, no subject is off limit. Kinda, yeah, it is. Like, we don't need to hear about your porn on LinkedIn.
No subjects off limits where? Like, we're just...
9/11's an inside job. Why am I telling you this? No subjects off limits.
I watched porn on Nancy Pelosi's desk on January 6th. No subject is off limits. I just think it's like, if you keep in mind that LinkedIn at its core is still like the preeminent way to get a new job nowadays, right? My wife's a recruiter. She uses LinkedIn almost exclusively. This is dumb. Like, nobody wants to go on LinkedIn and read about your porn addiction unless it's like Pornhub that's hiring, I guess. Maybe they're like, oh, he's a connoisseur. Come on in. I don't want to connect with this. I mean, look, porn's fine. But I don't want to fucking talk about it to everybody I fucking know. So, no, I'm not connecting with this porn freak.
All right. No
subjects off limits should have come like after the fucking single mom minimum wage rant. Like, that's more of like what he shouldn't be sharing.
Mm-hmm.
But talking about porn on the internet, that's who gives a fuck? Like, it's everywhere you look. So yeah, I don't know. This is something odd about the guy just pushing it a little bit too much. There's something sinister there. So I'm gonna say rejection.
He's trying to grow his real estate portfolio by like investing in pornographic studios.
He's just buying a bunch of big empty mansions that can go do shoots in or whatever.
My particular porn fetish is second big toe.
Real estate agent finds gal with second big toe. That's my favorite video I ever watched.
I want you to jack me off using only 4 of your fingers. Okay, next one's from somebody named Ken. And he says in his subject, I want to connect with you, emotionally, smiley face. Here's what Ken has to say. I go to the sexual health clinic every 2 weeks to get a regular STI test, even when I haven't had sex for a year. Why?
Does he think this is WebMD? Like, what is he fucking?
I like to waste people's fucking time.
Check me out. Have you been active? Nada. I have not, sir. What am I looking for? What if I brush my dick on a toilet seat? I don't fucking know how it works.
I keep trying to get them to test me for how many penises I have, but they won't. They're just looking for STDs.
Look inside my scrotum. See what is inside.
So he says, why? It's important. It's important to project an image of success even when you're failing. It says,
what? I don't even understand.
That's actually kind of funny.
It says the same is true for business. Even if your business is in trouble, you need everyone to believe in you. All right, Novak, you want to connect here?
He kind of saved
yeah,
me.
You do.
He kind of saved me with that line. It was actually a pretty funny line. The man wants to look like he fucks. Even though he's
To who? A receptionist? Who the fuck is finding out?
His doctor. His doctor's
Uber
like,
that drove him
damn,
there?
this dude's getting it wet every week. That's what the doctor says professionally.
Why do you got velociraptor scratches all over your scrotum? Oh, you must be really having it. Yeah, I'm gonna connect with this guy.
Yeah, he likes to fuck. You want to be his wingman? Geiger, what do you say?
The doctor. Yeah, this man's getting it in. Just high-fiving him.
You again, huh?
Dr. Bro.
You fucked sometime over the course 12 months?
I measured your load level. It's the same as last time you came in.
You're back again? Maybe you should stop raw dogging, my man. That's what the doctor
like,
says.
does he go? Yeah, that's the other reason that you shouldn't need to get tested. Does he go?
We got different ideas of what success is, pal. I don't know why.
Just walks around his office afterward. Clean again, despite all the sex I'm having. God, they're believing how successful I am.
This guy's got 3 dicks. He's not using any of them. I don't know why he keeps coming in.
He has to pay triple. We got to give him 3 tests. I'm not connecting with this dipshit. Like, no. Fake. I think the fake it to him. I get the premise of, like, you don't have to tell everybody you don't know what the fuck you're doing. But this is not projecting success. Fucking being a man whore is not the most successful endeavor in the world.
Okay, so that's a rejection for you.
Yeah.
All right. Here's one. This guy could be from Saukville. We'll see. So his name is.
I'm starting to take this personally. All right, here's a 3-eyed mutant for you, probably from Saukville. I fucked my sister. There's no subject you can't talk about on LinkedIn.
It's like it's just a mash of keyboards. Like, I can barely type with my few limbs. So okay.
I am the aide to the mayor. He's a horse.
All right, so this is from William. He's a developer / realtor / the pro real estate guy. Here's what he says. Hunting isn't a sport for me. It is a sacred endeavor I have chosen to take on. I don't enjoy killing the animals I kill. I am, however, filled with a sense of pride when I accomplish the task of taking down an animal. After each kill, I kneel next to the animal and thank it. And I thank the Lord as well. I learn a lot about myself when I am out in the woods. I sit and think about life, listen to podcasts. Like an idiot. Okay. I sit and think about life, listen to podcasts, or listen to nature. My sacred experiences during my hunts are akin to being in a temple. After each hunt, I come out an improved person, having learned a lot of personal lessons. Which lessons? I will post about them tomorrow. I enjoy my hunts and I have a great time, but they are sacred. And then there's a picture of him like next to like a dead deer. So, who are we on here? Geiger, I think you're up.
Yeah. Right. What a wise old shaman.
Yeah.
This communing with nature, whispering in this fucking deer's ear. Thank you so much for giving your life to me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to. Joe Rogan's having Dave Chappelle on. I have to pop my earbuds in. That's right. He's listening to our podcast.
Yeah, he's like slowly pulling back the trigger of the gun as is like, and 3 dicks. Or whatever.
Yeah, look, okay, that could definitely be from Saukville minus the spiritual element. It's just like, shot a deer, cool, huh? There's a meat place, Saukville Meats. It's like downtown. Well, downtown. It's in the middle of our town. There's no downtown, let's be clear. But if you cross one of the few intersections, and near deer season, if you look out back, there's just a pile of dead deer laying on the parking lot waiting for him to like process them all.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's pretty sacred and spiritual. I would go over there and listen to a few Conan O'Brien Needs a Friends and then go buy some sausage.
And that pile of deer is the tallest building in Saukville. It is your downtown.
That's where I went to school. Look, I don't. I come from a state where a lot of hunting happened. I never hunted myself. I'm not a big hunter or have any interest in doing so. I'm not necessarily opposed to it, and there is some reasons they have to do up there for deer populations and crops and all that kind of shit. It is not you are not like God's chosen warrior blasting a deer out of the fucking forest with a high-powered rifle. The podcast line, though, makes me like this. I want to connect with this guy. That sounds fucking hilarious. So, sitting, like, I'm just picturing him, like, in the lotus position next to this dead deer and, like, listening to the dumbest fuking podcast you possibly can. That'd be great.
Bill Simmons breaking down his
Yeah.
NFL picks.
I like the Texans over the Chiefs. He's just, like, blood dripping from his hands. So,
All right, Novak, I'm going to connect with Hunter.
I was able to connect with nature on the deepest level, deep in my soul, and I find out why Kendrick Perkins doesn't like the Indiana Pacers front court.
I was able to connect with nature and my Bluetooth.
Yeah, this guy sounds nuts. He for sure loves killing animals.
He opened with a lie.
So I'm gonna say reject.
Okay. Two more. Here we go. This is from somebody named Kier Shave. Okay. Never seen a name like that before. He's helping B2B company owners and directors. So here's what he says. Last night I got rejected by a homeless person. I offered to buy him something from Tesco, and he said no. Either he isn't a fan of Tesco, or he wasn't suitable for my offer. This made me think... Is
Tesco something I should know before?
Yeah.
It's like a 7-Eleven or something, right? Kind of, or a gas station.
It's
okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right.
This made me think that clearly not every solution is a fit for every problem. In sales, your job is to find out if your prospect has a problem, and 1, they are in a position to fix it. 2, your solution solves their problem. If it doesn't, you will face rejection, but qualifying out a prospect is sometimes just as important as qualifying in. Luckily, I am great at objection handling, so I spun his objection and got him to buy me a free meal deal with his cash in his cup.
Oh no!
What an asshole!
It says #sales, #qualify, #B2B. And then he uploaded a picture. I don't know if this is a picture of what he bought the guy or what the guy bought him, but it's some flaming hot potato chips, like nasty looking chicken and bacon stuffing, like sandwich cut in half, and then some orange juice. So, Novak, what do you say here? Connect with guy that preys on the homeless.
So he got the homeless guy to buy him a bunch of shit? A meal and drink?
Out of the guy's, like, begging cup or whatever.
What the fuck?
He said, leave me alone. I spun it around, and here I am walking away with his bindle. What the fuck? It's clear that this guy started laying it on the homeless man, and the homeless man was willing to give every last cent he had to make this fucker go away. Right? So what will it take to make you leave me alone? Because the only thing worse than being stuck out here on the street right now is listening to your bullshit. So I'm going to say reject.
All right. Gagger.
This fucking this fucking Glenn Ross wannabe asshole out there with the fucking leads working a homeless guy till he begs him to leave. Yeah, he probably wasn't interested in Tesco. He's homeless. He wants to eat. He just doesn't like you.
To give him food doesn't mean you're a salesman for him. Give him the fucking food.
This is quintessential dumb fuck meathead sales guy who's desperately trying to search for a metaphor to show what a fucking awesome... Yes, this homeless guy wanted me to leave him alone, which is why you can't always take no for an answer. Here's my sales technique. Yeah. Fucking shithead. Harass a person with nowhere else to go. Fucking make sure he has nowhere else to be. Enter his living space. Berate him until he buys you a fucking chicken sandwich from a gas station.
Everyone slammed their door on my face, so I find a guy with no door.
I told him, be a part of my LinkedIn post or I'll beat the fuck out of you. And he said, please take my money and leave.
Everyone said no, so I found someone who I could cut out their tongue.
I also think there might be a real healthy dose of that didn't happen.
Yeah,
going on here.
This definitely didn't happen. There's no way this happened.
No, I would also buy this guy a chicken sandwich to not connect with me, so he can hit me up too.
Okay. All right, last one. This one also maybe didn't happen, but here we go. Anyways, let's see what we say. My stepdaughter tried to put poison in my food several times. I hired her. Here's why. My second wife had a 13-year
Oh my god.
My second wife had a 13-year-old daughter when we met. She really hated me. She knew I was deathly allergic to peanuts and sprinkled peanut shavings into my food on several occasions. I almost died. Most step-parents would ground this child, but I respected her. Why? 1, it shows a solutions-oriented mindset.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Fucking solutions-oriented.
I'd respect her less if she hated me and didn't try to kill me. 2,
Can't argue with that logic.
I'll tell you who was a real awesome dude, Osama bin Laden.
2, giving someone a job is the best way to stop them murdering you. She is then dependent on you. Plus, nobody has ever hated their boss. 3, it highlighted a security flaw. I had been complacent in not checking my food for peanuts every meal, which left me vulnerable to my enemies. Keep your friends close. Keep your stepdaughters who have almost taken your life closer. You learn more from them. All right, Geiger, how do you feel about this one?
Left me vulnerable to my... You're not King Louis VIII, you dumb fuck. You don't have enemies. You just have people who think you're an asshole, including me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, you hired your stepdaughter because she's your fucking stepdaughter. That's what you hired. Like, you didn't hire her because
she tried to kill him.
And you know what?
And so he respected her for it.
You know what? She hated me, and I respected the shit out of that. She put that gun to my temple. I was like, just pull the trigger, damn it. I respect the shit out of you.
After you kill me with peanut shavings, make sure to tell the coroner to check me for how many penises I have. You never know what to find.
After you put me down, here, take my iPod Shuffle. There's so many podcasts on it you can listen to. No, I'm not connecting with this idiot.
All right, no. Rejection. Novik.
Coroner kept trying to cut open my grandfather's sack, and I said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I want to see 3 dicks." And I said, "You're hired. I like solutions-oriented people."
Then he said he didn't have any, so my stepdaughter taped a couple extra dicks on there and told him, look again. I thought, that's an entrepreneurial spirit right there.
He said, I have cut open 500 pairs of nads to look for him, and I thought, this guy's got motsy. I need him on my team.
This man loves to cut nads. He's going to cut a good deal.
I like how the punishment for attempted murder is grounding.
Yeah. Most people get grounded in a federal penitentiary for a set number of years.
So I'm going to say reject.
All right. Good one.
All right.
Okay. Back to nature, plant-based snacks, home style soft baked cookies, peanut butter and chocolate chunk. They look delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
they
they do.
look soft, fresh baked. But we will see. So plant based meaning that they wouldn't have any animal products. So I assume veganish.
Yeah, no butter, no milk.
They're a little chewy.
I don't mind the chewiness.
Yeah.
It's interesting because there's kind of an aftertaste that reminds me of when we do the Impossible Meat episodes, where it's like just there. And I don't know if I'm just like imagining that, like if you hadn't told me this was plant based, what I would think. Because it still does like, if this was the only cookie I was allowed forever, I could stomach it. Like it still does remind me a lot and feel like a regular cookie. It's maybe a little dense in like a protein bar type of way.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they're bad. I see a look on Chad's face. He's not going to agree with me. I would much rather eat these than the animal crackers. They put a healthy amount of chocolate chips in there, which I think is helping. I could go with the stronger peanut butter flavor, but I still think they're better than I thought they'd be. I'm going to give them a like that. Geiger.
I agree the chocolate helps, and I think the chocolate's decent chocolate. I actually forgot they're supposed to be peanut butter cookies until you mentioned the peanut butter, so that's probably a sign. And this is something that would probably benefit from peanut butter. Like that salty, nutty flavor would help a little bit. I'm with you. The consistency doesn't bother me. It is drier and chewier, but it's still like, I'd rather eat this than a gluten-free cookie any day.
Sure.
Those are just so dry. I don't think they're bad. I don't think they're meant much worse than like a grandma, whatever. What's the grandma cookie?
Sure, grandma's. It's called grandma's.
Oh, just grandma's,
cookies.
yeah. Like those ones, like this is essentially the same thing. It came in a little individual wrapper, right? You open it up or whatever.
Yeah.
And it like, they're never like as great as, fresh out of the oven or whatever, because they're just kind of soft and been sitting there forever. But this isn't bad. I am going to give it another soft like that. I probably would eat this over the animal cracker too. I know Chad probably thinks we're both the same. But.
Okay. We're at a really interesting spot here because both of the first two snacks were tied with 2 likes and an indifferent. We've currently got 2 likes. So if Chad gives them an indifferent, we're going to have a 3-way tie. Otherwise, we're going to have a decision to make. Chad.
I don't think that's going to be the case.
No.
Well, okay. The chocolate is the only thing here that saves this cookie for me. I think the chocolate is pretty good. I like a good chocolate chip. Where's the peanut butter?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't taste any peanut butter in this supposedly peanut butter chocolate. You eat a peanut butter cookie, like a regular peanut butter cookie, even a grandma's peanut butter cookie. You're gonna taste that peanut butter like right there, front and center. You guys don't have a problem with the consistency. I do have a problem with the consistency. This is like beef jerky, the cookie almost. Like it should be way softer than it is. It is too chewy. But the cookies actually are going to save it. Or sorry, the cookies are going to save it. The chocolate chips are going to save it a little bit for me. I was bordering between, it's going back and forth between dislike and indifferent, but because I did think the chocolate chips were good and I did finish one cookie, I'm going to stick it very low level indifferent to that for me.
Wow.
So we do have a 3-way tie and all of us.
And like an unbreakable one because we all gave different ones indifferent, right?
Yeah.
Well, we have to see. So Novak, you prefer the chocolate chunk cookies to the vanilla wafers? You're saying?
Oh, because those are my 2 likes?
Yes.
Actually, no. My top vote would be the vanilla wafers.
Okay. That's also... oh, no. Your top vote's the vanilla wafers. Okay, my top vote is the animal crackers. So, Geiger, is yours animal crackers or chocolate chunk cookies?
It's the chocolate chip cookie.
All right, so unbreakable tie. Yeah.
Is this our first unbreakable tie ever?
Wow, I think it is.
Maybe. I feel like we had one once before, but maybe not. Yeah.
Maybe not. Wow. That's a little surprising.
Well
honestly.
chosen snacks, at least.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Interesting mix here. So, yeah, we cannot make a solid recommendation, but all these were just sort of pretty good,
Yeah, they're all
not
right.
amazing snacks.
Give them a try. You might find someone that you like one of them.
Geiger, where can the listeners contact us?
If you got 3 dicks, if
We are
You
3
two
dicks.
dicks.
Only one way to
Think
find
about
out.
it.
yeah, 3 dicks want to know if you have 3 dicks, or even 2. I mean, if you had 2, that also would be interesting. I'd also like to know where it is. The second one is. Is it in your ball sack? Or is it somewhere else? Middle of your forehead, something like that. If you are that music teacher somewhere when you're listening, hope you have lived a nice,
Mr. King.
long life, Mr. King. Long live Mr. King.
Probably dead.
If you are, yeah.
Long live Mr. King.
May you dance around and throw shoes in heaven.
St. Peter, get your sandal away from me.
Dicks out for Mr. King.
All 3. If
Yeah, I was only talking to one person.
If you're some fucking psycho screaming at a homeless guy outside a gas station, go get bent, fucking dick. I don't want to hear from you at all. If you really are on LinkedIn, please, I'm begging you. No one's impressed by you. No one's impressed. Even looking at your resume, it's fine. No one cares. Apply to a job if you're qualified. Get an interview. Great. Other than that, shut the fuck up. No one wants to hear you. Anyway, that's my quick LinkedIn screed. If you like the podcast, if you want to suggest a question or a snack, give us your opinions of our snacks as well. You can get a hold of us at youtrythat@gmail.com. We are on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Anywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can find us. If you want to leave us a 5-star rating, leave some comments and a review. That would be great. If you'd like to tell your friends and family about our podcast, that would be wonderful. And as always, thank you for listening.
Okay, so you're in music class, it's elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best of the kids' instruments?
Mm.
You got the maracas, the tambourine, sticks. I'm going to submit that it is the small xylophone.
Okay.
Which is super fun to play.
I was going to say, we almost exclusively had xylophone. That's all I really even remember playing.
Glockenspiel.
Yeah.
We started with recorders. Everyone learned the recorder.
Oof, yeah. I had to go play a recorder recital at an old folks' home. They all scared the shit out of me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was brutal. Can you imagine,
Haven't they
like,
suffered enough?
They can't hear anything. Whatever.
they wheel you out there and it's a bunch of kids going, wee, 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 squealing.
Do, 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 do.
And then you had to go talk to them afterwards who were just milling around and they're like, you remind me of my grandson. I'm like, mm-hmm. Like, I was just kind of afraid.
What'd you play? Hot cross buns?
Aqualung? No, I don't know. Nights in white satin. Just like a fucking.
So we're not counting trombone in this list of kids' instruments. Is that what you're saying? What you're telling me? Before I played trombone, I played drums. So first, I made my parents get like an entire drums. Well, they didn't buy the entire drum set. They just bought me one drum, but took me for drum lessons for like a year. And
one drum?
Yeah, I had one drum.
Like you're the kid in the infantry who like walks forward like drumming.
yeah, I was in the infantry. And then then I switched to trombone, so that drum was completely wasted. And I did trombone for, I want to say 3 years, maybe 2 years, and then quit. And then I did chorus for a year and then quit that. So
The moral, I see this story just reveals what a fucking quitter you are.
well, but then I found the theater, and I stuck with that for a while. So that's what I think.
You weren't enough of a problem solver. You need to go out there and harass a bum.
Geiger, you were a saxophone artist.
I played
right?
saxophone, for most of high school and a little bit into college. I haven't played it since my some medical procedure I had done, but I had a.
But you played it for old ladies all the time and the old folks.
I go into the nursing homes unbidded, like they do not want me there, and just start playing like
outside their windows at night. Of the nursing home.
They're like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like I'm not even good.
Okay.
I'm just playing hot cross buns though. It's 3 blind mice plank. What the fuck? You remind me of my grandson. He's also an unemployed loser.
You remind me of my grandson. He just bought a salesperson a sandwich with his money in his homeless car.
He's sleeping outside the Tesco right now. My son wanted to play electric guitar or whatever he said when he was like 5 or something. So we got like a little guitar and an amp and all this shit, and then paid for lessons. And he went to like 2 of them. That was a fucking waste of my time and money. We had to sell that same shit. So thanks a lot, Jake.
To save the money, did you decide to pick up the guitar?
I started jamming out on this mini guitar.
Fucking like, dear old hot cross buns.
I had an electric eye version of hot cross buns and smoke on the water, and the buns were hot cross.
I have 3 penises in my scrot. Like that's a real American.
I one of my key songs is about my scrot. That's what it was called. And they say that you lived your life with 2 dicks in your scrot.
Cool / Greenscaver. I heard you did a whole album of hot cross buns covers.
I had all these different hot cross buns applications. Yeah, it was like an opera. Figaro, hot cross buns. I didn't really know how to fit it in there that well. I did hot cross buns in G minor, and then I did a freestyle rap, which no, you can't hear. I'm not going to do it.
You and your first grade class, going to a old folks' home playing "Put 'Em on the Glass."
I got hoes and guns and hot cross buns, bitches. I'm just screaming in the microphone.
You remind me of my grandson. He always asked me to put him on the glass.
Whip them teddies out, seniors. Look at Ethel. She got some hangers.
You're about to die anyways. Dump them out.
Dump them out.
All right. Well, that'll do it for this time. We'll be back next time. Trying out 3 brand new snacks.
This is...
Yep.